Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and a very special holiday edition of My Mom's Basement, 4th of July week. We're celebrating the 4th of July. As I've mentioned on the podcast, I'm doing the least American thing you could do on the 4th of July and flying myself to Wales to see Oasis. I take off tonight, so it will be a shortened version of the show today, but we wanted to get something out for the Basement Boys and Girls Club.
Benedict Fox, I believe that would be the
Yeah, it is kind of Benedict Fox behavior of me, but we're like days away. It's like 2 days away, and I can't believe it. My entire life is just consumed by the Oasis reunion right now. The sound check videos, the merch videos, or pictures of the tents and the stores and the shops. I'm gonna spend ungodly money on merch. I've packed my suitcase. Only one half of it is packed. I can't wait. We're in the end game now for Oasis.
So I have to ask you this because I had this question come up to me when I was out this morning. As someone who has witnessed God knows how many concerts, is this the most anticipated concert of your life due to the build up, the reunion, and never knowing it was going to happen
Far and away. The only thing that could come close, I would say, there's two moments that can maybe come close. Guns N' Roses getting back together. Axl, Slash, and Duff. Never thought I would see that, and it was amazing. And then, like, the first concert after COVID being Foo Fighters at MSG. But this is 16 years they've been broken up. And I've been like a diehard fan for like at least 10. Like 2016 was really when I got crazy into Oasis. I liked a few of their hits before then. I thought they were cool. Then I saw the documentary and was like, oh my God, I learned the lore. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm obsessed now. So yeah, it's 10 years in the making for me. First show ever. It was miraculous that I was even able to get tickets. I can't wait.
See, this is the problem, Bob. Two things. One, the thing that throws me off mentally. When did they break up?
2009, August 2009.
Okay. So the fact you got into them after they were already broken up, but I also forget because you're such an old soul. Like I grew up, Oasis was in my life when they, burst on the scene. I was alive and knew music and stuff like that. I forget you weren't part of that. You were not.
I know. I never got to experience it.
So I that definitely skews it a bit. I saw they have a soccer jersey now.
They got a couple different soccer jerseys this year. I'm going to try to get them all.
I was going to say, this has to be your team now. If you're going to choose like a European soccer team, you have to be BFC Dublin. Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
I know they have. So like they're Man City people. They love Man City. They're obsessed with Man City. Some of their merch is like Man City colors. But I think they're sponsoring maybe another team in Dublin now. And it just says Oasis on the front, like they're the sponsor or something. I don't know. I love it, though.
It's a pretty sweet jersey, I gotta say. Like the logo, and then that's the color I always associate with Oasis. It pops. It definitely pops. So get the lad a kit when he goes over flies over the pond.
We will get into some nerdy stuff today, though. We have 3 Oasis podcasts on the channel with Nate. So if you're into Oasis and the reunion and all the talk about that, everything we could possibly cover, go check those out. They're kind of evergreen, as well as the T-Bob interview that I shouted out. That's evergreen. If you're looking for holiday week content, I did an interview with the Hardys, so check that out. And last week's episode isn't that dated, I don't think, either. So, if you missed last week's episode, you can go check that out as well this week.
Hey, how about the Basement Boys? Got all the evergreen stuff, but we're not doing the best of. We're doing fresh. We're keeping the stuff churning out. And that's before, July is a fucking content factory for us. And we're still churning out stuff before we get into the mix, which we hope, everything considered, we should be able to watch Superman, and we should be able to get a Superman reaction after that comes out, and then with Fantastic Four as well. I don't think we'll be getting early access to Superman, so we'll have to see it when everyone else does, but we will get one out ASAP because it's going to be the biggest story, whether it's good, bad, or mid, right?
Yeah, and speaking of good, bad, or mid, we could get into our first topic. Jurassic World Rebirth reviews are out, okay? And I was really, really excited for this one being the one. It brings us back to the original days of the franchise. We're fired up about dinosaurs. It's not great, Clem. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is 52%. Now, I will say the audience score is not yet out because they're still waiting for, I think, way more people to score it. I clicked on the audience scores that you can see. Tons of great reviews. 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars. It's a lot of good reviews on audience reviews. And I know we always consider the audience score more than the critic score because it feels like that's more of the common man thing. So I would say it's not doom and gloom yet, Right now, I'm still like, this might be a fun movie that critics are just kind of like on. I've seen a lot of good reviews from people I know personally as well, people I trust, where I'm like, all right, Liam Crowley saw it, he liked it. David Thompson from The Direct saw it, he loved it. So I'm like, all right, still, I'm excited to see this when I get back from Wales.
I saw our boy Heavy Spoilers say it extinct. Ha 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 ha. That might just be him just trying to be funny with a bad.
Might be
pun.
him trolling.
That's what I'm hoping. If it's bad, though, I just want to let you know, it's kind of like when my kids are like, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to play in the rain. I'm like, you're going to get wet. You're going to be cold. You're going to be unhappy. Sometimes you just got to let the kids play outside in the rain or jump around in the puddles. Bob, I'm going to let you go outside, play in the rain. And hey, maybe I'm playing in the rain in a week or so. When you come back, you say it's awesome. 5 other people at Barstool whose opinions I trust, a couple of our, listeners and followers, they say, got to check this out. The magic is back. I hope it's the case. Again, I think we need to skew away from the Raptors a little bit, but I hope it's the case. We'll see what kind of these freak dinosaurs and, pretty star-studded cast, all things considered. We'll see what they bring us here. So I will not go in negative. I will not go in positive. And to be honest, I probably won't go in. That's just how it's going to go. We have enough stuff going on in the theater.
We're gonna have a couple days before we could even see it, at least before I could see it. If you see Jurassic World Rebirth, tweet at me and Clem. Let us know what you think with no spoilers. I don't want to know any spoilers, but just give us like a ball scale. Give us like a what is it out of 5 in your opinion? And then maybe an adjective or 2 to throw in there. Don't spoil anything. Again, I want no spoilers. I don't even want to know there's fucking dinos in this movie. But tell us a score.
And then go, don't go, or if you want to throw in a fast food review, this is the fast food item I compare it to. Do whatever you want to do, ball scale, but just let us know whether it's good, bad, or ugly, because again, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So it's actually like kind of nice that we don't have to go there day one, right?
Yeah.
Like if there was a superhero movie like this, we're like, all right, boys, we're going into the storm head on here.
So that's something we don't know if we could be excited about. Let's transition to something I know we could be excited about. That is the potential of Bix as Wonder Woman. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name in real life because I will butcher it, and I don't want to butcher Bix's name. I have too much respect for her. But James Gunn followed her on Instagram. People noticed this. James Gunn says she was in a movie that I made 7 years ago. I followed her then. I didn't just follow her. He's kind of trying to make the waters a little murky there, I think, because I said to you, it feels almost like the John Krasinski, Reed Richards fan cast, and there hasn't been as much time for people to like really want this fan cast and rally behind it. But it's one that feels like super realistic, where fans want it. People are saying, oh my God, she would be great as Wonder Woman. And seemingly everyone that sees it is like, oh shit, yeah, that would be awesome. And we're in the perfect time for the DCU to recast a Wonder Woman right now. Apparently they're working on the next Wonder Woman movie. I think this is realistic. I think it could happen, and I think we would all love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see her more. I think I've only seen her in Andor. I don't know if I've seen her in any other movies or shows. The action and kind of like that kind of acting where you're playing like a Wonder Woman kind of role. If I could see something more of that side of her, but I mean, we loved her in Andor. We loved her in Andor from day one. Imagine B2 trying to say her name, but with his stutter too, it would be an outright disaster. That's almost what you avoided doing by not, saying her name. I actually appreciate that about you, Bob.
It's a tough name to say. She's also, I believe she's currently dating Jason Momoa, which makes me think, oh, he's Lobo in the DC already. He's good friends with James Gunn. I'm sure she knows James Gunn already. I think it only makes it more likely to happen. And in terms of other movies she's been in, she was just in a movie in 2023 with Glenn Powell called Hitman. Really, really good. And she was fantastic in it. It's a Richard Linklater movie. She was also in Blink Twice, Zoe Kravitz movie with Channing Tatum. Great movie. Unfortunately, she was also in Morbius. We'll throw that one right off the record. It's like a golf handicap. It's like you get rid of the worst scores. But I'm excited. I think this could have potential. And in terms of like a DCU Wonder Woman, I don't know who would be better to cast. Like, I think she's the one. Maybe like I've seen people bring up Isa Gonzalez. She looks a lot like her, but I don't know. I'm a Bix fan.
You have the nerds on the hook, James Gunn. Just reel us in, make us happy, and at the very least, we're going to give you that runway of all right. And unless it's bad, we're going to think it's going to be good because we're rallying around our girl here. I saw people like Gal Gadot, bring back Gal Gadot. Like, is Gal Gadot the actress version of the Snyderverse where they have their vocal minority that is just going to, rep her? And I want the listeners to know, especially the listeners who are, have the headphones on. I have I'm at the part of the podcast where I realized I banged on the desk earlier. I will not bang on the desk. That is my promise to you. I think I know what there's a little wheel down here from this desk because the drawer broke years ago and I kind of play with it. I think that's where the banging comes from. So I think I figured out the issue. So this is my promise to you. I also have to admit this. This is just the boys could come and clean in the basement. Okay, Adria. I'm gonna go Adria Arjona.
That's Arjona, I think. Yeah.
Arjona. I don't know if the J is hard or soft. Mix. She makes me swoon. I just love. She's just fucking beautiful. Like nice way to say it. Don't put me in horny jail for saying someone. If I say she's hot, horny jail. Sexy, horny jail. Beautiful. She is fucking beautiful. She's beautiful. And Wonder Woman fits that. Wonder Woman can be beautiful. Gal Gadot's beautiful.
Of course, she's an Amazonian like goddess. Yeah. All right. First trailer for the Odyssey is in theaters now. Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. Listen, I didn't see it the way fucking Nolan intended. I didn't go to the theaters and watch the trailer there. It leaked on Twitter pretty much immediately. I couldn't resist. I watched it on Twitter. We don't see much, but we do see Tom Holland and Jon Bernthal. And Tom Holland's talking about my father. You know, I need stories from the war. It seems fucking intense, super Christopher Nolan-y. But this just confirms in my head that I think they were broing out on set together, and Tom Holland called up someone at Sony and was like, listen, I want the Punisher in the next Spider-Man. I don't know what you got to do to make that happen, but I would love Jon Bernthal alongside me. And then the story came out like a day after the trailer dropped. Spider-Man Brand New Day could see the Punisher and Spider-Man take on Savage Hulk, which also seems fucking great, where it's like, ooh, what if we got a Spider-Man where, yeah, there's villains, but like one of the villains we got to deal with is the fucking Hulk, and he's back to being a savage.
Okay, so Savage Hulk isn't his son that looked really weird and shit, right? Okay, good. I don't want that Hulk.
with the shape up, with the weird, like, yeah.
Yeah, Savage is almost ironic. It's like Savage Garden or something, and he listens to Savage Garden a lot. Don't need that Hulk. Okay. I love the idea of the Hulk flip. The Hulk is someone I'd love to see flip sides. I don't know much flip sides in the comics, but I feel like he started as a villain, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He goes back and forth where it's like he's not a villain. He's just a force of like to be reckoned with, where it's like, we got to keep this guy under control. And it was great when we got it early on in the MCU. Like we got it in the first Avengers movie with Thor and with Black Widow. Like that shit is fantastic. Still some of the most iconic scenes from that movie.
I didn't want to say this, but I think he'd see it as a compliment more than anything. You know who the Hulk of our company is?
Who?
Dave. Because it's like he's a force.
Yeah.
But when
and
he's
kind
Savage
of two sides of him.
Yeah. You avoid Savage Dave like the fucking, even if you're not in trouble.
It's Grudge
like,
Dave.
I don't
Grudge Dave is the Hulk.
Grudge Dave is the Hulk. But then when you have like Happy Dave, like Dave seemed like in great spirits during Dozen Week, right? And then even
it's Bruce Banner.
He tweeted out a compliment towards Jeff about how great that was. Holy shit, you don't get compliments out of Dave a lot. But it's like, I like being around that Dave, but I am scared of Savage Dave. And
yeah,
just like
you know, like you don't like him when he's angry.
Yeah.
It's like you got to keep his good side, the side that is around us at all times. That's a great comparison. I thought you were going to go with more of like a Frank the Tank where he's screaming and he's a savage. You can't get out of his way when he's ranting about the Mets or something. But I think Dave is the right call.
Yeah, like Frank is like you want to know the secret? I'm always angry. That is Frank. He does have that side of him.
He's the Red Hulk.
Yeah. He's the Red Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, very excited for the Odyssey. There's not much you could say about the trailer. It's literally just them sitting there talking and kind of just like black screens where they're like, a film by Christopher Nolan.
So do we get any glimpses of the movie or the characters or anything doing anything?
A little bit. Just a little bit, but it's kind of like them sitting in a shack, like talking to each other. It's not like we didn't get like a grand set piece or like anything crazy like that. I don't even think we get any Matt Damon. From what I remember, it was just Tom Holland, it was Bernthal, and I think one other person talking to him. But it's Nolan, so I'm excited. I mean, also the Spielberg movie that's coming out next summer, they showed the first footage for it at the Universal backlot where they like named a theater after him. It's 2 months next year where we're getting Nolan right into Spielberg.
Ooh.
So it's like, oh man, this is gonna roll. And in December of that year, I think we're getting Villeneuve for Dune Messiah, where it's like, oh my god,
we need to get we need to get something to Odyssey, Barbenheimer, the Odyssey, just to do another Nolan event. I didn't see I haven't watched the trailer yet. I am so fucking excited for this movie, though, that I was honestly like, well, I'm definitely going to the movies next week for Superman. And I imagine they're going to play that before Superman. It feels like the perfect thing for it. So I might do the Nolan, watch it in the theater as it was intended for, even though I saw it too. It was like, I watched it on my cell phone just as Nolan intended. And I kind of love being the asshole that does something like that. So,
yeah, I watched it just as he intended from a text message from Jeff D. Lowe.
And I saw that the fucking whoever the studio is just taking these things down like crazy. They are just striking them down.
Probably Nolan
like
himself.
Yeah, it's
and then before we get into Ironheart, where we'll talk a little bit of spoilers because the whole thing is out now and there is some spoilers worth talking about. I just wanted to mention the Bear season 4 is out. Season 5 has been picked up, which kind of shocked me. I thought season 4 was the final season. I thought I read that somewhere that like they're done after 4. I saw yesterday season 5 has been renewed.
What?
Yeah, I know. No. Am I breaking this to you live on air?
Yes, renewed for season.
I'm not crazy, right? We were told at some point season 4 is it.
I'm sorry if I banged on the desk. I just put my hands down. We are like 3 episodes in, 4 episodes.
I watched 2 last night. I'm 2 in.
You're 2 in? We finished Worms, which is, I think, season 3 or episode 3. And I was like, I was kind of excited to wrap this up. I've liked it so far. I do think that there is, okay, so that's episode 4. And I was really excited just to kind of wrap it up and call it a day. I could have sworn this was the final season. And
we still defend the Bear more than most, I would say, the both of us. Like, I think a lot of people soured on it season 3. We talked about it last week. You said, like, it really does, like, kind of contextualize a lot of stuff in season 1 and 2 and make it more of a complete show. 2 into season 4, I kind of feel the same way as you, where I'm like, I'm enjoying it still. It's a show that I love to watch, like, visually. It's, like, very, like, easy to watch. But you know, not to like, it's not like a big spoiler, but when they bring the clock in like episode 1 and they're like, we're going to have to shut down the fucking restaurant if you don't, it's like, oh, this is the 4th time in a row we're doing this, where it's like, you were going to shut down the restaurant. It's like, it's getting a bit repetitive, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it was season 3 was a little stagnant. I know where like a lot of people assumed it would be him getting Claire back and like things advancing, maybe Sid leaving, and like, they pushed a lot of plot lines onto season 4. I don't know how to fix it. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still probably going to enjoy it, but I'm not so far into season 4. Like, this is the fucking amazing show that it was when we were watching Fishes and Forks.
I think we all thought it was going to become prestige TV, where it's, you know, Thrones. It's the best stuff after those 2 episodes. And it can flirt with that and maybe even hit it, because the Tina episode I thought was awesome. Obviously, Fishes and Forks. I don't even remember season 1 was just so anxiety ridden. I couldn't even like deal with it. It was like a good to pretty good. Good, pretty good's below good. I think it goes pretty good, very good, great. That's the G scale.
Yeah.
I think
it got to great at points.
It got to great, yes. And I think it's good at its core. But season 3 was a lot like season 2 of House of the Dragon, where I'm like, wow, we just did a whole lot of nothing here. And this season, my wife said in that first episode, she's like, they just need to get a win. And this kind of happened, I think, with The Boys with us, where it was like, I feel like we're just kind of just going, we're chasing our tail, kind of going to the same beats, and stuff does advance, but not to the level that maybe I'd wanted to, or I just feel like we are just spinning our wheels a little bit. And I like the characters. The episodes, I mean, it truly is one of the more beautiful shows I've ever watched. Maybe because I don't watch beautiful shows. I just watch nonsense and sports. So I really do like it. And I really like just being around the characters. I like being in that universe. It feels like a nice place just to watch everyone. You like a lot of the people. And I was honestly just very happy just to see what happens, bid them adieu, and all the nonsense to conjecture now, where it's like, it's not a comedy, it's not as good as people say.
It's so annoying.
Fine show. It's a perfectly fine show.
I'm so tired of people trying to be like, it's this genre, it's that. It's like, who gives a fuck? I know for award season, you have to categorize and you have to slot it somewhere. If it's not award season, it's like, you don't have to fucking categorize it as a genre in your mind just for the sake of headcanon. Like, what are we doing there?
What is Endgame? Well, John, I don't care.
It's funny. It's action. And I posted on my Instagram story this weekend, actually. We went to Lake Placid. We filmed the mascot stuff. It was a great time. And as soon as we got to the hotel, I turned the TV on. I swear, I turned the TV on, and it's on the channel that Endgame is on as the Hulk hits the snap to bring everyone back.
Oh.
And like, me and Tommy were sharing a room. I looked at Tommy. I was like, this is like they fucking knew I was walking in here. They're like, I'm going to have the greatest hour of my life watching the Endgame final battle right now. I just posted the Avengers Assemble clip on my Instagram story and said, like, never gets old. Might have been the most liked Instagram story I ever put up in my life. I got like 100 immediate, like, as so many people being like, I got chills just from watching it on your Instagram story. Like, this is the best. It really is just like, having a great movie like that is the best, because you could just go back to it for the rest of my life. I will be going back to the portal scene and getting chills and being like, I remember the opening night. It was the best.
It was the absolute pinnacle, essentially, of it all. Yeah, man. That other day in the hotel too, I texted you. I was like, because Ken Jack texted me. I fell asleep. Die Hard was on, and then like when we were in Boston, it was Marvel's the Avengers, as Trevor would call it. Then, right after that, within a half hour, Infinity War starting. On another channel, True Lies was ending, followed by My Cousin Vinny. And then, as those were all in their commercials at the end, as they were transitioning one to the other, I just hit up a channel, and there was an Office marathon, and Dinner Party was on. I'm like, I am in the best content fucking wheelhouse right now. It was incredible, man. Just incredible.
I love doing that on Pup Bunk Tours. I'll like text my brother. I'll be like, fucking Batman 89's on TBS right now. Get it on.
And people are like, dude, I'm not watching commercials on TV right now. Fuck
you.
I
love it. I love watching movies on TV. Yeah, I don't even care if it's fucking Goodfellas and they're calling each other bologna sandwiches instead of motherfuckers. Like, I love watching a good movie on TV every now and then. It's like a nostalgia thing, but I'm into it.
And that's the thing. All right. Like, if The Bear was on TV, and I guess it's on FX or FSX, I don't even know. I don't know if I even have the channels. I watch it on streaming. Like, if it was on, like in 10 years from now, I probably would just like keep it on and have it on in the background. It is one of those shows for me, but I understand it's not for everybody. Like that's fine. And I will also say, I think season 1, looking back, is more of a comedy than what it's become. And I'm sure there was some drama moments because it was just so anxiety ridden. But remember the one where like they mistakenly put like the medication? It was like,
that's what I'm thinking of right away with the
kids.
All
the kids were passed out from drinking.
Yeah,
that was
so
a comedic
goofy
thing. Yeah,
like
it's not what it is
thinking
now,
of them doing that in season 4 would be like, it seems like a Looney Tunes gag. Like, what the fuck? Also, speaking of like streaming shows on TV, I texted you. I was watching FXX yesterday. They just had a Simpsons marathon on. It was like old school Simpsons. I was having a great time. It was the fucking icing episode, or the not icing, the what's the Olympic sport? Curling. It was the fucking Marge curling and everything. And afterwards, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man came on. Like on regular TV, the new Disney Plus streaming series just had a couple episodes. I did not know that they did that for anything. I know that there is some kind of Hulu, FXX, Disney Plus partnership. So I know they're all owned by the same person. I was like, this is brilliant. Like, watching a few episodes of this, just catching it on TV would maybe make a kid be like, hey mom, can you get me Disney Plus so I could watch the rest of that? Like, even someone my age, I feel like, could be watching The Simpsons and be like, that was fucking interesting. What was that? So shout out to Disney Plus. That's a smart idea. Imagine if one day they fucking threw Loki on TV and people were just catching Loki and they missed it and like stuff like that. I think it would work.
Yeah. And you forget that they do have all this content that they're just making and they're throwing on streaming. They have it for the future. There's going to be stuff they probably won't show on there. Oh, which I guess we can talk about as well before we get into Ironheart. There's another show that was on Disney Plus that we're getting a season 2 for.
Obi-Wan Kenobi apparently getting a season 2. It's just rumored now, but it's like the scoopers that people consider kind of accurate, kind of legitimate. We talked about it last night. I think you had a great tweet. You were like, can they rewatch season 1 first? Now, here's the thing is, like, they made Obi-Wan. They brought Ewan back. It was great to have Ewan back. Great to have Hayden back. Everyone loved that. And then they kind of like, they fumbled it. We talked about it recently where I was like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I think I want to disregard that headcanon. I'm crazy because it's like I'm chasing the dragon. I think you could make it work in season 2. I said to you, I was like, you bring Mace Windu back as a Force ghost. I know Liam Neeson said he doesn't want to come back to Star Wars anymore. You could fucking get him back. They set up season 2 as like Obi-Wan learning about Force ghosts and learning how to become a Force ghost and stuff like that. That could be kind of interesting, but like do you bring Vader back again? Are they going to have just a fight? Someone said every year until the Death Star. Is that they were kept meeting up. They could not stop meeting up. I don't know.
Haven't felt this feeling since the last time I was with my old master 3 months ago when we fought.
I think I just saw him at the gas station on the way here.
I don't want to go back to Obi-Wan season 1. I really don't. But I have to ask this because this came up in my mind. After Vader fights Obi-Wan, right? And this guy is the guy who in his mind like killed his wife or as a reason his wife is dead, blah, blah, blah. And like ruined his life. Why is he just like, oh, I'm just going to let that guy. Does he think he killed him? Or he kind of doesn't know?
Obi-Wan wins the last fight. Vader's all fucked up and he's got his mask broken. But there is the moment earlier on in the show where he like burns him. He like drags him through the flames, but then he leaves him. And that is the moment where you're like, he wanted him to suffer by burning alive, but he didn't think I should just kill the guy. I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Does he just not go at like, I'm not going to look for this guy anymore? Like, so again, this like hurts my head. We already had them fuck up the Obi-Wan. Some people, me personally, I do not like that because I think the Vader versus Obi-Wan, their last encounter being when he chops him in half, leaves him for dead as his body's burned up after he thinks like the fucking pure anger and rage inside to then that, let's be honest, that I've also, as I've been rewatching all these Star Wars, it's like, man, that first lightsaber battle is tough. It really is tough.
Yeah.
You know, but when in 77, you're like, holy shit, they have laser swords. What's going on here? It's funny how everything has changed over the years, but it's like that. Leia is just with Obi-Wan. You said like, is Obi-Wan going to just be like hanging out with Luke every day? Like, is that what we're going to see in this season? It's just kind of
what you do. You know what would be cool? They had that moment very briefly in season 1 where he looks out into the distance and he sees like a version of Anakin that wasn't bad. Like, give us some Anakin like demons, like nightmares, where he sees what Anakin could have been like if he didn't go down that dark path. Maybe some like you inject some what if into it, and maybe you could connect it with Ahsoka season 2 in flashbacks somehow. Maybe you flash us back to the Clone Wars and you show Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka fighting alongside each other. You could do that really in either show. You could do it in Ahsoka or Obi-Wan, but like do those things that the fans are asking for, and I don't know, try to shy away from the stuff that you're checking boxes that we never asked for, like how he knew Leia leading into A New Hope. Nobody was ever like, how did he know Leia going into that? It was just assumed he did not know Leia going into that because clearly from the fucking movie, they didn't know each other. It's, yeah, I don't know. Some of those choices they made were weird. I still don't hate the show as a whole. Like, and I agree with you. Like, the Mustafar fight is a better last time they saw each other. I still like the fight in Obi-Wan. I almost just wish it was like his nightmare or something.
Yeah, I said it's like they're just giving us the slop, but we don't even want the slop, and then the slop is somehow making everything worse. I don't want to just keep crossing things off in my head again and be like, stop. But what's the best thing about this, Bob? The best thing about this news or these rumors is that it's in development, and no project in Star Wars is less likely to happen than when it's in development. So it's probably just going to be a whole lot of nothing. We just wasted a bunch of our time on this show about it. But whew, oh boy, I like don't even. All right, let's just make it right now. Don't bring back Boba Fett season 2. Don't do it. No one wants it.
That's another one where I'm like, maybe you could fix it. God. Make him a mob boss.
This is what's going to happen, Bob. There's going to be a fucking year in like 2027. It's going to be Obi-Wan season 2, Boba Fett season 2, and the next Jurassic World. You're like, this is going to be the greatest year ever. And they're all going to stink. Yeah. And I'm
probably the next Cloverfield too, like another franchise where I keep getting my hopes up. Yeah.
Kid's back on the escalator again. That's it. You just keep riding the escalator by yourself, and I'm just worried you're going to get hurt.
Clem, rebellions are built on hope. We learned that from Andor. We learned it from Rogue One. I'm a hope guy.
Don't you bring up Andor. It's so unfair.
Let's get into
one more thing. If Obi-Wan season 2, Boba Fett season 2, fucking Acolyte season 2, I will give the green light to them if Tony Gilroy's involved, which I know is never going to happen.
Okay.
Still. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of shows that are maybe like the Acolyte, Ironheart. Let's get into Ironheart. It is over. It started last week. It ended this week. 3 episodes last week, 3 episodes this week. Could not have less buzz. Could not possibly have less buzz. I think the same amount of people are talking about Ironheart as they were the Jake Paul fight this weekend. Nobody's talking about it. They swept it under the rug, like seemingly on purpose. I think they knew they didn't have a bona fide hit. This was a show they wrapped in 2022, 3 years ago.
No.
And then, yeah, and they went back and reshot a bunch of it. I think the spoilery stuff we'll get into. I'll say right now, I'm going to get into spoilers for Ironheart right now. So, like, if you're not interested in spoilers, it's the last segment of the podcast. We'll do a little tiering after this, so it's kind of second to last segment. But
and if you are interested in spoilers, you don't have to watch it. Bob's going to tell you everything that happened.
Yeah. Like, I hate to say it. I'm always kind of the look on the bright side, half glass full person. I do not think this is a show worth watching. Through 5 episodes, I was incredibly bored. It was a slog. It was like, I can't believe I'm still watching this, and it hasn't gotten even a little more interesting. It never really felt very MCU-y, superhero-y to me. I texted you, Riri Williams I liked in Black Panther 2, and introducing her as this like super genius, fucking went to college early, built their own Iron Man suit. Like, all of that did not line up with her character in the show in my mind, where she was making bad decisions and bad choices constantly, and she's getting in with the wrong gang. And I understand that's like kind of the point. Like, she gets in with the wrong people and figures her way out. And it was just, it was so not enjoyable. I thought the villain was so bland. He was called the Hood. He wore this stupid fucking cloak, and he looked so dumb the whole time. She cuts off a little piece of it, and she's running tests. And there's interesting ideas where it's the combination of magic and tech. She's able to use maybe part of his cloak, and she has a suit where it is tech influenced. She rebuilds her suit out of her like stepdad's car, which I thought was fucking dope as well. Like, it's like this cool red and black muscle car, and her stepdad was like, he died. Spoilers. That's like a big part of the series. And she like builds this cool fucking magic tech suit, looks badass. Anytime where she's like in the suit fighting or flying, like, I liked all of that. The issue is, for 90% of the series, she is not in the suit, and it's just her talking to her AI friend who passed away. She brought her back via AI, and it's a little goofy. I thought, like, in the first episode, she was going to bring her back, and everyone around her was going to be like, this is not the way to grieve. Like, this isn't her, you know, and that was going to be a big point of the show. It gets there, but it takes like 5 episodes where it's kind of just like her friend is resurrected, her friend is back. Now, in the 6th episode, the finale, we get what we were all waiting for since WandaVision. We get the M-Man, we get Mephisto, and he's played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who I don't think anyone saw coming back when we were saying back in WandaVision, we're getting the devil, we're getting Mephisto, we're getting the devil. And I liked him as Mephisto. I liked all of the Mephisto stuff, to be honest. I didn't love it. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, what a finale. I'm blown away. But he's in pretty much the entire finale, and you find out that's where the Hood got the Hood, where he got the cloak from Mephisto. And it's kind of like he made a deal with the devil. The more he uses the devil's magic, the more it hurts him, the more it affects him. Kind of has these like black veins growing on him. Sacha Baron Cohen is very good in these scenes, too. He looks like a human. He just looks normal. He doesn't look like the devil. He doesn't have red skin or anything. He's got like a beard, kind of long hair, man bun. And there's one scene where he's got a spoon. He's like stirring the drink, and he pulls the spoon out of the drink. And in the warbly kind of distorted reflection of the spoon, he looks like the devil. And he's got the red skin. And it's fucking like, it gave me chills in the moment. I was bumped up. And it took me, 6 episodes to get there. But I was kind of like, oh, shit, this is kind of fucking cool. And then they end the series on a really cool note where Riri beats the Hood. Basically, like Luke Skywalker beats Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi. Like, he fucking shoots her, and he's like, I got you. And then realizes he was shooting a hologram. And she's like, pretty good fucking hologram, right? She beats him, and then she meets Mephisto. And Mephisto kind of presents the opportunity to bring her friend back for real. Not through AI, but through making a deal with the devil. And he says, like, you can call me Mephisto. She thinks he's Dormammu, which is also an interesting thing. It's nice. Like you're kind of I knew Mephisto was joining the show, so unfortunately it's kind of spoiled for me in that way. But you're led to believe she's talking to the human version of Dormammu, and we're dealing with like real dark magic shit. And I was like, oh, that's like a cool direction to go. But he's like, Dormammu. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, no, I'm Mephisto. And he says it. And then it ends on the note that she makes the deal with him. She hugs her friend Natalie, and you see the vines growing out of her arm, which is kind of the way that, like, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness ends, or even like the WandaVision ending where it's like the Darkhold's still out there. It's like she wins, but we know she's going to be corrupted at some point. So there's part of me that wonders, like, it's such a cliffhanger. I don't think Ironheart's the kind of show that is going to get a season 2, to be honest. Is this a cliffhanger that leads to Doomsday? Is it like there's a couple characters that are now corrupted by the devil or the Darkhold or something like this that will be able to swap teams and Doom can easily influence them or something like that? Is it going to be like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and Ironheart and a bunch of these other characters are kind of on the bad guy's side already because they've got the devil in their mind? I don't know. Overall, not a great show. Not really worth watching, I don't think. But I did enjoy the Mephisto stuff. Kind of saved it at the end. Kind of made it interesting at the end. I don't know.
I went on Twitter and searched Mephisto, and I found a couple like of his scenes that were like 30 seconds or like a couple minutes long, and he was cool. Like I always saw Mephisto was gonna be a little more sinister. I guess the whole devil thing, I thought a little more sinister. He feels more like Al Pacino in, what was the name of that movie that he plays the devil?
I don't know.
Keanu Reeves.
Movie where he plays Stu Finer.
Devil's Advocate. The devil is Stu Finer. The devil. Yeah, that's a great movie too. Two for the Money. I know that one.
I just watched it. It's very good. Yeah, and like there's multiple scenes where I'm like, oh fuck, he's doing a Stu Finer impression. That's Al Pacino doing a Stu Finer.
I haven't seen it since I've met Stu Finer. I saw it in the movie theater just to give you an idea of how excited I was for that movie. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it again now that I know Stu and heard how he's gonna eat his wife's ass. 500 times.
Yeah.
Gonna be much more of a different twist. The Mephisto stuff again. Okay, this was my and again, someone didn't watch the show. I also heard Riri was like she was the dumbest but smartest person in the world, depending on the scene. Which Tony Stark, a lot of people are saying Tony Stark is kind of he does the dumbest shit when you think about it, but he's also super bright. So I understand that. It just feels like they could have had just a home run of a show if they were like, hey, here's some cool shit. This character, which I think we all agreed after Black Panther, this actress seemed like she was fun and she is
a good actress.
Yeah. So I think they could have done something better with it just based on what you're saying. I also just think, dude, you guys, like, you had us hook, line, and sinker with Mephisto after WandaVision, which almost took over the show at the end. You had an Agatha all-along show. Just put him there. And then they don't put him there. And then it just feels like it's like, shit, we got to put him somewhere. Throw him in Ironheart so people, like, if that doesn't happen, if Mephisto's not in this, what would be your takeaway from this show? Just bad, just
horrible.
Capital bad?
I would say, like horrible. Like, and I don't even want to say horrible because, like, as you're actively watching it, there's nothing where you're like, this is horrendous. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just so boring and it drags so much that, like, at the end of the episode, you're like, nothing. I got nothing. Oh, and the one big thing that I forgot to mention, they turn Obadiah Stane's son into like Electro, essentially. They fucking build a machine, they drill like stuff into his head, and he has like Emperor Lightning. And it's so goofy and silly, and it just doesn't work. Like, I thought he was going to be like this grounded character, no superpowers, maybe redeem himself for Obadiah Stane. It's so like, I'm like, they wasted Alden Ehrenreich, a great actor, on like this stupid ass role.
Okay, so that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, it was disappointing, man.
It's like we're at the point now where it's like we're almost out of these like let's make the MCU the MCU back on track.
I mean, wrapped in 2022. Like, this one was in the midst of their fucking let's crank out as much content as we can get quota.
The Mets had DeGrom, Scherzer, and Bassett in 2022. Yeah, that was a different time in all of our lives. It's so crazy.
We were breaking down fucking the Batman, I think.
So much has changed since then. Is there anything else that is like coming up that they still haven't released? I feel like this has to.
I don't think so. I think this is pretty. I mean, like, there's like the Eyes of Wakanda animated show, which I don't put as much like stuff behind where I'm like, that better fucking be good. Like, if an anime show is bad, it's whatever.
And then, I mean, Fantastic Four is something completely different.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and then Avengers after that.
And that's why I kind of give it the pass. I said to you, if they believed in this show, they would have had it every commercial break during the NBA Finals on ESPN and ABC. Ironheart coming out. And they still had some commercials, but
instead they were like, Ryan Coogler was kind of involved. We swear, And
then it's like, here's another Fantastic Four trailer because we want you to watch this. We don't really care about Ironheart. And the Jake Paul comp is perfect because I didn't even know that fight was happening. As the like intro, I saw Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. coming around. Like, holy shit, that fight got made and it's going on right now. I imagine Jake Paul won because I imagine if he lost, I would have heard about it. Okay, so thank you we got the Jake Paul
and the Acolyte comparison
spoilers.
I made at the beginning. I actually do think it's kind of like the Acolyte, where throughout the show I'm like, this wasn't horrible. We were watching every episode being like, all right, it wasn't good, but like whatever. And then at the end, you're like, oh shit, fucking Plagueis. Like that was kind of like we were like Mephisto. Like it was very similar on those wavelengths.
Was there anyone in Ironheart that was equal to the villain with the mask who was fucking cool in Acolyte? It sounds like it was the opposite. When they made Electro, they kind of screwed up Electro the way it sounded like it was corny. The way
he wasn't literally Electro, but like he basically just had those powers. Like it was just lightning kind of. I wouldn't say there was any like Riri was probably the best character in terms of like, I don't know. She wasn't even super likable in the show. It was just, I don't know. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't really a character like that.
Hey,
let's tier the MCU shows.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for watching it for us. I truly do appreciate that. And I think everyone at home, he took the bullet.
Yeah, it was too long too. The penultimate episode, 57 minutes. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
No Mephisto in that one either. Not even teasing Mephisto, really.
57
minutes. Let's tier the MCU shows here. I have the tier list up. Let me see if I could do the little present screen button here.
Yep, there we go. So for people listening, go on the YouTube if you want to see the level of tiers listed up here.
I think let's make it real easy, real quick. And we could say Loki right off the bat, S tier, right?
Correct. Amundo.
We could say X-Men 97. Is it down here? I don't see X-Men 97 down here.
Live action.
Well, What If is there, isn't it? What If is there, which is bullshit. Let's say X-Men 97, if we were doing this, is immediate S tier, right?
Yep.
And then the only other S tier show I would say is Daredevil Born Again. Would you agree?
I might put it A tier personally because I think it's a step down from Loki. That's just me though. You can go with your rankings, unless you want to talk it out. But for me, I have an A. If you want to put it S, you can put it S.
You think step down from Loki and X-Men 97? I'd be okay with A tier.
I think so, definitely. I think so.
All right. The next one is WandaVision. How do we feel about WandaVision? Because great show, fumbled the finale.
And this one is almost more of a tough call for me than Born Again. Because I think this was better than Born Again. But I don't know if it was as good as Loki. I mean, the highs were high.
A tier.
Yeah, I would say definitely A tier. Definitely, yeah. Throw it in for now. Let me see what it looks like on there, Bob.
All right. A tier.
We can change, right? We can change as we go along.
Yeah.
We'll see what A tier looks like. That I could bump it up to S. I would not put it below A though. I think we've talked about it. It got True Detective where we made a better show than what we got at the end. On Reddit.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't think is as bad as people say. Like I would put B tier. I know probably a lot of people would put it below that. Like maybe in the C tier. But what would you put between there?
I'd start with C and then we go from there.
All right. We're gonna start with C.
This is almost like those blind rankings that people are doing, and you don't want to just go too high too much, and then you're putting, something terrible 1 or something great 5.
Let's do What If even below that, right? Like D tier. Started off with potential, and I think the potential is a big part of this. That had a lot of potential, high ceiling, low floor.
That's the problem. Is I think they ruined a great idea, and they just kept ruining it and ruining it. It's like. It was the Doctor Strange episode where he keeps making the magic and he keeps dooming that reality. That's what just What If. I would go E tier. What do you think about that, Bob?
All right, let's start
Bob,
with E tier.
If E and F are on the list, you have to use them at some point.
True,
you don't have to, but you are not an E or F guy. Everything's great or good in your book. It's like, oh, that's the worst movie I've ever saw. It was good. It's like, wait, what?
Hawkeye, I think, can go B tier, right? But better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but not as good as WandaVision. But good throughout. There's nothing I would detract from Hawkeye. It just didn't crash through the ceiling.
The villain in Hawkeye was the Mafia, the Echo, and
little Kingpin.
Little bit of Kingpin, and we also had the Swordsman, who was a good guy.
Yeah.
The chick from
Vera Farmiga.
Yes, from Departed. So yeah,
let's go B.
Yep.
Yeah. Moon Knight.
This one's interesting.
I was doing my rankings before. I put it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. where I'm like, I think it was a better show than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I think my like interest was held the same for both of those shows.
I think we also had a better experience with it because Jose gave us kind of the breakdown and we learned about like ancient Egypt and shit like that. I am between B and C.
I am too.
I would probably lean B, believe it or not.
Let's go B. Let's go B. I was kind of thinking the same thing because it was like a better like start to finish series than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It felt less reshooty and stuff like that. Miss Marvel. So this is an interesting, like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, a couple of these, like I would say D tier, where Marvel, like better than What If in terms of like the first 2 episodes I really liked. And then it kind of got to that zone where I was just kind of not super interested throughout the rest of it, but also not the target audience, like not the target audience, but it was fine. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, I found the way that will balance this entire list out because we're kind of like finding our gravity right now. It's like we're in a new planet and we're trying to figure out the gravity. Put Secret Invasion at F. That will make everything much easier.
Here we go.
Boom. All right, this makes sense now. Miss Marvel D. I think I'm cool with that because it had its moments, but like at some point we're like, dude, just get us out. I remember there was a train station there. I'm like, just get me out of this thing.
Yeah,
like, wrap this shit up.
And then like She-Hulk. Kind of the same.
Interesting. No, so this is interesting.
Maybe a little higher.
I think the Basement Boys like She-Hulk more than I don't want to even say the consensus. I just say the loudest people on the internet. I'm also not ready. Honestly, I
liked it more than Miss Marvel for sure.
Yes, I think I liked it more than I definitely liked it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. But you are a different
really.
Yes, definitely.
We got Zemo. We got some Wakanda in that. We got John Walker.
Oh yeah, that's fair. You know what? That's fair. I would honestly say I'd probably have it on the same level. I definitely liked it more than Miss Marvel. Thing is, like, I might have liked it more than Moon Knight at some parts, but there was, as we know, some
there's some bad.
I also appreciate
what do we think? C or D?
In that, I think it's C for sure.
Let's go C because that'll also be controversial. That'll get some engagement for the boys.
Fuck it, move it to A. let's go viral, Bob.
Echo
D.
Same as Miss Marvel, right? Yeah. Where it's like it had some good moments, had some good Kingpin stuff. The Daredevil fight was cool. But that's kind of all it had. Agatha All Along, I would put it on level with Echo and Miss Marvel probably, where I would say it was probably better than both of those shows. I'm going to put it on C tier. I'm going to put it on C. I think it was better than Miss Marvel and Echo. It kept my interest more than I expected it to. It's another one where I would say, like, I just wasn't the target audience.
You explained this entire show to me. So, I mean, based on what you explained, I can put it in a tier. I think it's more fair for you, the one who actually watched it. And again, I don't like to go too much based on just other people's opinions, but everyone said, like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So, based on that, I'm perfectly fine with this C tier.
So now we don't have Ironheart as an option down here, and we don't have X-Men 97. X-Men 97 would be an easy S tier for both of us, no doubt.
Is there Loki season 2?
No, it does Loki as one show. I should have picked a better tier list before I started.
That's fine. Hey, S tier is perfect for all of it, though. I'm fine with that.
For Ironheart, to be completely honest, I would probably put it between D and E. I would probably wind up putting it D because like Echo and Miss Marvel, I didn't have a high ceiling for it in my head. I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, this has the potential to be fucking amazing. And they fumbled it like I did with What If. It kind of just wasn't for me. I feel like a broken record saying that. It just, I don't think they made it for me and it didn't hit for me, but it was fine at the end. So it's like the lowest D, the highest E.
I honestly think based on your description of it, I think it's an E based on what you're telling me because you have to think Echo I think had more high moments.
It did. Echo was definitely better. And Miss Marvel was definitely better.
I would say E because E is this weird category because it's just What If, and What If is like its own. I don't understand What If's even on the list, right? If X-Men is in there, I would put it as E as someone that hasn't watched a second of the show based on your review. But you do whatever you want, Bob. It's just not even there, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'll put it there for the graphic. I'll make it an E. I'll make it an A for the graphic. But there you go. That was a quick MCU shows tier list. Something fun to end the holiday edition. I said we were going to do a super short holiday edition. It's basically a regular episode. We're at 50 minutes. Thank you to all the basement boys and girls who have been listening. Hope everyone has a safe 4th of July. Don't drink and drive, all that fun stuff. And if you see me in Wales, say what's up. I'll be mad for it. I'll be the one in the bucket hat. I'm sure I'll be the only one, eh?
Hashtag Benedict Fox for the episode.
I like that. Hashtag Benedict Fox if you've made it to the end. Shout out Clem for doing a 4th of July episode with us this week. Shout out to the listeners for always listening. And shout out to fucking George Washington and shit, Independence.
I hate to do that after you dropped big GW there, but hey, shout out to the Gallaghers for getting together and hopefully
that's right.
Legendary moment for our guy Bob there. And Nate.
Shout out to Liam and Noel. Let's hope that, everything goes well on Friday night.
Can we get oh God. Good or bad, are we going to get an emergency My Mom's Basement with you and the Nate dog out there?
I don't know if we'll do a full episode, but we'll do like reaction videos for sure. Like
I want night of still going through your Vans hotel.
We might do the full podcast. And Dante the Don too.
The Don's going?
The fucking Don's going. Yeah, we're all meeting there like kind of separately, but like Nate's in Portugal right now. I think Don might be in London already. Yeah.
Portugal?
We're all meeting there separately.
Portugal?
I know. Yeah.
Nate,
I said this
Robbie,
is a business trip for me. I was like, you guys are taking vacations before this. I'm going to make sure the band's back together.
Nate, Robbie, Dante. Who would be the 4th member of this is like the all random Barstool quad?
It's like Mincy, like the
most random. I was thinking
maybe the most random people you could think of. Like just throw a name at a Barstool dartboard. That's the name.
I want also people to reply to this either in the video tweet. Who would be the dream 4th person to make this the most random trip ever at Barstool? Michigan Man shows up. Maybe
Michigan Man, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great 4th of July. We'll talk to you next week.